Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the FPL Affairs podcast, the podcast that strips back and lays bare our season-long love affair with FPL. In this video, the FPL Affairs Swan, aka the Differential King on the All in Football FPL show, shares with you the players who he believes will be this week's Differential Kings. How many will there be? Do you own any of them? Has he missed any? Before we get started, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for all of our content, and if you hit that bell, you should get notifications every time we release something new. Anyway, enough of my small talk. Barry, get cracking.
And there's Mo Salah. There goes Haaland. He's on his way again. He's hungry. He's scored. Ice cold precision from Palmer. Saka! That is a diamond of a goal!
Hello everyone and welcome to Differential Kings Game Week 6 with me, the all in Football FPL Differential King and the FPL Affairs Swan. So this week what we're going to look at is the differential five-a-side that the All in Football FPL show do, and also their 3-week gambles and see how they got on, and also see which ones they picked for Game Week 6. And then also we're going to look at recapping on the fixtures and form for Game Week 5 and also see who's in for Game Week 6. So let's get going. So differential five-a-side. So the voice of the people, Scott, won. He got 20, but he didn't win overall. Guy from over the pond, Guy Ferguson, he won. He got 28 points. We also had the FPL Affairs Rooster and the FPL Affairs Hippo get involved as well. Unfortunately, they didn't do so good. The Rooster actually got the wooden spoon, so better luck next time. But apart from that, I think everyone really had a poor week. There was only 3 probably players that did better than expected, and that was the voice of the people, Scott Williams, Guy Ferguson and Phil Hallam. So with that, well done to them 3. So for Game Week 6, we've gone for a selection of players that probably are on most people's wildcards and differentials, to be honest. So Petrovic in goal, Donnarumma and Martinez, very solid goalkeeping choices there. Obviously Leeds away, Burnley at home and Fulham at home for the respective 3. The defenders we've picked are O'Brien, Mikolenko and O'Reilly, targeting them home fixtures and also against the potential people that are struggling for goals such as Burnley and West Ham. The midfield, Ndai, Doku, Gibbs White, Foden, Xavi Simons and Dewsbury Hall is a very solid one. The differential king myself obviously has picked Gibbs White and Foden. Obviously Foden back to his best. They both played midweek, so I'm just a bit wary about their minutes on them pair, but we'll see obviously how that goes. And then the strikers are Evan Nielsen, Beto and Calvert-Lewin. So Calvert-Lewin obviously back to his best last week, and hopefully he can replicate that form. And obviously he's a very low ownership at 0.4%. The 3-week gambles. So this looks at from Game Week 3 all the way to Game Week 5. Start with all the under 5. So the FPL Guru picked Ndoye at 2%. He went actually up in ownership, but only got 5 points, but did claim second place with that. Myself, I picked Hudson-Odoi. It was obviously 1.3 ownership at the time. He's gone up in ownership as well, but only got 4 points. He was rotated quite a bit in this 3-week period. And Voice of the People got obviously first place again, so back to winning ways. Obviously won the five-a-side differential, and obviously he's won both of these as well. So well played to Scott. He's had a great week. He had Ismail Sarr, obviously scored against Aston Villa away, and then obviously for the 2 easier games he was actually injured with a hamstring. So unfortunately he he couldn't add to his tally of 7. And then for the under ones, I picked Ramsey, who only got 1 point. He was injured actually in the Leeds game, so couldn't obviously pick up any more points. Dango Tara was actually rotated as well. He started on the bench for the last 2 games. Was a bit of a shock, to be honest, because I thought it would be like Sharda, Thiago, and Utara as the front three for Brentford. But obviously, Keith Andrews has mixed it up. And then Harvey Barnes took the gold and got 5 points for Scott. So very low scoring on the 3-week gamble. So hopefully for game week 6 to 8, we can improve that and not just get the 2 points or the odd 1 point for appearances. So the under fives start from top. So the FPL Guru, Xavi Simmons at 3.7. Fixtures of Wolves, Leeds, and Aston Villa. They're all struggling teams, apart from obviously Leeds away is a tricky fixture. We all know how difficult it is going to Ellen Road. Foden, I've picked for my under 5, obviously looking back to his best, and I'll touch upon him later in this show. Doku as well is a potential option as well. Obviously Scott's picked him with obviously the fixtures going forward look really good for Man City. Martinelli for the 1% and unders. With Martinelli, he is classified as a finisher. In other words, we call it as a substitute, but Arteta likes to call his substitutes finishers to obviously give them the boost of confidence that they might potentially need. I've picked Bergval. Obviously, I've liked how he's been playing in the last couple of game weeks, and obviously potential DEFCON points, and also can get a goal and maybe even assist like he did in his little cameo in the Carabao Cup. Scott has picked Nico O'Reilly. Like I mentioned, obviously Man City have got great fixtures, but the only problem with picking Man City players is the Pep roulette. And as we joked, we mentioned Pep is knows exactly what FPL is, and obviously I think he rotates it on purpose because people are getting these players in, and he just likes to take the mick out of us. The differential kings for game week 5. So we're looking at the recaps. So didn't really have a good week on form, to be honest. It was the one that I was actually unsure of, who actually got the throne and got the crown. Was Jaden Anthony. He got 10 points. He looked very lively against a Notts Forest team that are playing Ange ball now. So you're expecting any attacker potentially to get points against their shaky defence, shall we say. Massive difference between obviously having Nuno in charge, a very defensive-minded coach, compared to Ange, who's plays on the front foot. Lacroix obviously conceded against West Ham, and Paquetá only got 1 point. Walter Maida was a bit of a lost person up front, only got 2 points, and Zubimendi, as I thought, would only get the token 2 points. Maybe thought he might have got DEFCON points, but how obviously Man City played in that game, they played very defensive after they went 1-0 up. Hence, I think they finished the game with about 8 defenders on the pitch. The fixture side of it, I was right to pick obviously Zinchenko. I knew would potentially start, but unfortunately, obviously Jaden Anthony scored in that game, so he lost his potential clean sheet. Hwang Hee-chan didn't even play, so it was a gamble that was looking good, because obviously he did look obviously past the eye test, but unfortunately didn't pass the fitness test that he had. Yemi Pino got 1 point. Yeah, came off a bit early because he had an injury, so he's a potential doubt for obviously the next couple of weeks. But still looks obviously a good potential asset with obviously Saar out, depending on obviously how long he is out with his knee. Goodmanson is actually a player who I brought in, and he got the crown with a very low score of 4 points. That was due to obviously having DEFCON points. McAllister, I picked the wrong midfielder. If I picked Gravenberch, everyone would be singing me praises, but unfortunately I picked McAllister. He didn't obviously return obviously his history of scoring against Everton. And then Martinez, I was actually thinking, great, Sunderland's had a player sent off, going to get a potential clean sheet, and I also got a save point from him. But unfortunately, Isidore had different ideas and obviously scored. Looking at the differential kings for game week 6, I've gone for Sunderland. Obviously, Roth's in form. He's 6.7, 2.4% ownership. So with that, obviously, Sunderland I expect to concede 5.3 goals, and obviously he has saved 14 14 shots this season, making him fourth in Premier League on saves, only behind Dubravka, Vicario on 19, Sells on 16, and Leno on 15. Isidore, obviously, he's in good form at this moment of time. He's had 13 shots so far this season. 11 of them have been inside the box as well. He's had 5 on target and he's scored 3 out of them 5. So he is definitely someone to have a look at, and he's averaging 1.91 shots per on target per 90 minutes. Gravenberch, very similar to obviously Zubamendi. He is in form. He is on 6.8, but will that form last for a holding midfielder for Liverpool? He will play. He has been taking his goals pretty well against Newcastle and also the one against Everton. It was a lovely finish, that one was. But will he keep this form up? I don't think he will. Stack has got the throne at this moment of time, but we'll see after game week 6 if he does get that throne. Obviously, he is averaging 2.2 shots per game, so he's taken 11 shots already this season, and obviously he is an aerial threat, standing at 6'4" in defensive and also attacking set pieces. Iwobi, he gets on the ball quite regular in attacking areas. He's had 253 touches of the ball, so he likes to obviously control the Fulham attacks. He's had 7 shots, but 5 of these were outside the box, so don't expect him to try and obviously pop up with a goal inside the box. So he's looking at a long range shooter. So hopefully, if you want to put it on a bet builder or something like that, Iwobi to score outside the box, then that could be obviously one way to boost that bet builder up. Game week 6, for fixtures, I've gone for Beto. Strangely enough, I was looking at some of the stats for this on strikers, and Beto is actually the second highest on XG per 90 minutes, behind the one and only the robot himself, Erling Haaland. Beto has got 0.58 XG, and that's ahead of Salah, Ekitike, Semenyo, Wood, and Mateta. So obviously he is bound to get a goal, but will it be against West Ham at home? Gibbs White, we all know obviously Forest play really well when Gibbs White's playing and he is on form. Gibbs White obviously got an assist midweek in the Europa League, so hopefully he can replicate this form against Sunderland at home. Foden, I mentioned obviously about him. He's looking back to his best. He's playing in the attacking midfielder role, central. So obviously with that, it does help him a lot to get on that half turn and score like he did against Huddersfield in the Carabao Cup, and also he got an assist in that game as well. So expecting him to turn the screw and get back to his best. Doku, he is a player that really excites me and he passes the eye test. But obviously I was actually shocked when I looked at these stats, to be honest. He's only had 1 shot this season. So if you're expecting a goal from him, it's not probably going to come. But if you're expecting an assist, he's created 9 chances and he averages 2.85 chances per game. The only problem I have with him is his decisiveness. He sometimes makes the wrong decision, but his speed and his guile can obviously change that. Xavi Simons got an assist on his obviously Premier League debut from a set piece. We all know Thomas Frank is a set piece mastermind. So with that, obviously having Van der Ven, Romero and Richarlison and players like that who can attack the ball, he is obviously a decent asset to have. He's obviously took the set pieces off Porro, so that makes Porro probably not an asset worth having. Bergval had a little cameo, played 27 minutes or something like that against Doncaster, and he got himself an assist. Strange enough, he's only had 3 shots this season, but all them 3 shots he's had have been on target, and he's also got a goal from them shots. From that. So with that, obviously that is my differential kings for this week. So hopefully you like what you've seen, and if you think I've missed anyone, just give us a shout out. Make sure you put it on the comments, and obviously bye for now.
So how can you get in touch? Where can you find us? Our email address is lowercase fplaffairs@gmail.com. On X, our user handle is @FPLAffairs. Facebook, the group link is in our description on the YouTube video channel. And alternatively, you could search the Facebook groups for FPL Affairs. We should pop straight up. Our YouTube channel is /@FPL Affairs, and the Spotify links are generally found at the bottom of the video, or on Spotify you could search up FPL Affairs. There may still be time to join our leagues if you haven't already. The classic league code is 12RRCG, or the classic code is lowercase I6NQNB. Unfortunately, the head-to-head league is now closed as the season has started. Thanks again for that, Barry. I like the new section, the 3-week gamble. Very interesting, and, well, unsurprisingly, looking at the fixtures, Manchester City heavy. I'm a bit unsure about the Foden pick. I'm worried in particular that after the number of minutes he got in the cup during the week, that he won't be starting at the weekend, but we shall see. I hope I'm wrong. Other than that, the Sunderland shouts, not too bad with Forest, but I really like in particular the Gravenberch in the middle of the pitch. He's one I'm considering in one of the cheaper budget slots in my wildcard midfield. 5.6 million, he went up 0.1 yesterday, I think. But those, very interesting, as well as the fixtures. So if you have any of those differentials, then let us know in the comments below. Or if you think Barry's missed any, do that as well. But all that's left to say is keep your FPL affairs under wraps until Saturday's deadline. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye bye.